It's LeGarrette Blunt here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, Micro Mike, man. Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
What's going on YouTube? This is Mr. Micro Mike, and today I'm going to do a 10K scenario for the Detroit Lions, 10 being the worst scenario, 1 being the best scenario. And I'm going to just kind of go out to see what's very plausible for our Detroit Lions. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to it. Hit the bell for all of my notifications. Leave me a comment and tell me what you want to see in this draft. What would be your worst case scenario? In your best case scenario, and these are realistic scenarios. We're not just going to say like, oh, take a punter with the first pick or anything like that, but we're going to talk about realistic scenarios here. And you're going to notice the top 4 worst case scenarios is the Lions simply taking the player with the pick. To me, I feel we can trade back, but it's plausible they do just simply pick at the spot. So for my 10th scenario, so this would be the worst out of my spots, we're going to go ahead and take Jeffrey Okudah with that 3rd pick. I think it's possible, we end up just staying put and taking a player. And to me, the 10th scenario, the worst out of my scenarios, would take Jeffrey Okudah. The reason I say it would be the worst out of my scenarios, because I do feel that there's players on the board I would rank a little bit higher than him. And I feel we could still get Mr. Okudah with a trade back. So to me, he would be a solid pick for the Detroit Lions. I just feel there's better players on the board, and I feel we can get them if we trade a back scenario. But to me, that would be the 10th scenario. He would solidify the secondary for the Detroit Lions. For my 9th scenario, we got to start the draft again here. Again, it's staying put with the 3rd pick. Obviously, Joe Burrow and Chase Young go 1 and 2. And to me, the 9th best scenario would be the Detroit Lions selecting Derrick Brown. He is a very good player. He would do well on this defensive line. But again, I think we can still get him in a trade back scenario. And I still feel there's better players on the board. But don't make a mistake about it. He would definitely help our defensive line immediately, be an impact player for our team. And it'd be something really good for the Detroit Lions if they decided to go that route. But again, I still feel there's better players on the board, and I still feel we can go ahead and make a trade back scenario. But that would be my 9th best scenario. For the 8th scenario, we're going to go ahead and stay put again. And we're going to go ahead and pick Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. The guy is a defensive playmaker. He can play linebacker, safety. He can actually do the nickel cornerback. He can rush the passer. He can do it all. But to me, I still like the idea of trading back. But make no mistake about it. If they picked Isaiah Simmons with the 3rd pick, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to say, man, I wish we could have traded back. But again, with a trade back scenario, guys, you have to be able to have a team that's willing to trade. And it's possible that there's not. But that would be my 8th best scenario. Actually got to pick 2 teams here because I'm going to have to be able to have a little bit of luck fall for the Detroit Lions. And to me, for a little bit of luck to fall for our Detroit Lions, I'm going to go ahead and I need to have a little bit of scenario happen for our Lions. So I'm going to have to pick the Redskins, Dolphins, and Lions to make this possible here. And for this scenario, the Redskins are on the board, and I'm the Miami Dolphins. I want to go ahead, or I'm going to have to pick the rush to Redskins. I want to trade back, and I want to be able to accumulate more picks. And the Miami Dolphins, they definitely want their quarterback. And so for them, I'm going to just throw them this and propose the trade. Obviously, they could get more for this. But this, I'm just trying to get it to where a certain player falls to us. So in this case, the player falls to us because Miami traded up and they take Tua Tagovailoa. And the Detroit Lions just had something fall to their lap, and that's Mr. Chase Young. Fell to their lap. And to me, that would be the best case scenario for the Detroit Lions in the staying put scenario. If Chase Young fell to us at 3 and we're not trading back, to me, that would be the best player available. Take Chase Young, put him on this defensive line, and let him rush the passer. I know a lot of other people prefer maybe Isaiah Simmons, but I prefer Chase Young, and that's my opinion. I think he'd be a fantastic player for our Detroit Lions. Add him on this defensive line across from Trey Flowers. My God, our defensive line is better. And voila, I'm a happy man. But now we're in the trade. I only need to pick the rounds 1 because in this scenario we're just going to be picking up a first round picks, plural. So in here, Joe Burrow goes 1. Okay, Chase Young's going to go 2. The Detroit Lions are on the board. We need to propose a trade, and to me the 6th scenario, the worst trade scenario to me, would be the Jacksonville Jaguars, and let's get it. So in here, we're going to give up the 9th and the 20th for Detroit's trade. We'll propose the trade, and the trade has accepted. Now, if they trade up, it's for, obviously, the quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. So they're going to take the quarterback position. Here, the New York Giants, because we have to kind of decide what's going to take place here. So we got to be realistic and see what would the New York Giants do here. To me, I think they could go offensive line. They could go Isaiah Simmons here. So I'm going to just throw Isaiah Simmons because I don't think he'd be available at 9. Not saying the Giants would take him over a lineman or vice versa, but I just don't believe he'll be available at 9. And here, the Miami Dolphins missed out on Tua. They're going to have to get Justin Herbert, the quarterback. The Chargers, I could throw them Jordan Love. I could, but why would I do that? I just feel that maybe he could move down in the draft. He'll be a later pick. He very well could be the pick, but we're gonna go ahead and look at their team needs, and to me, the team needs for the Chargers: quarterback, offensive tackle, guard. Okay, so to me, they're probably would they take Jordan Love? Possibly, but why not take a tackle? To me, Andrew Thomas is probably the best tackle. Oh, Tristan Wirfs or Thomas is there. So we'll just throw ahead and throw him Tristan Wirfs. One of these guys are not going to be available anyways for the 9th pick. But, and then you got Derek Brown here. To me, makes logical sense for the Panthers. The Cardinals, they need to get a tackle for sure. They can go Becton. They can go Thomas. They very well could. We'll just go ahead and throw them Thomas. And in this scenario, this is kind of exactly what I expected, folks, and that's because Jeffrey Okudah just fell to the Lions at number 9. This is a no-brainer to me. If we trade it back to 9 and Okudah's there, you got to take Okudah. He would immediately solidify our defensive backfield. We picked up another first-round pick, and this is very possible, guys, that Okudah could fall to 9. And if we trade back, it's very possible. But again, if he's not, there's still really quality people on the board. But in this scenario, he actually does fall. And I've actually done many simulations, and he kept falling to 9. So this is just not me picking. This is literally the scenarios kept falling out where he was available at number 9. So here we're going to give Cleveland, we're going to give him the tackle. We're going to give Jerry Jeudy to the New York Jets. They need a wide receiver as well for the Raiders. We're going to go ahead and throw him here. They could go wide receiver here, but they also traded their defensive tackle away. And so we're going to give them Kinlaw. They need to get a lineman as well when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're going to give them Jedrick Willis. We all know Denver Broncos has been looking for a wide receiver for a while. We're going to go ahead and throw him Henry Ruggs. The Atlanta Falcons are on the board. We're going to go ahead and give them Clavion Chason. To me, that makes a lot of sense. C.J. Henderson makes a ton of sense for the Dallas Cowboys. We need to give protection to the Miami Dolphins. We're going to throw them Austin Jackson for sure. Now, the Raiders are back on the clock here. This is funny because they can go many different routes here. They really, really could. So in this scenario, they got a wide receiver here. They could go defensive end. They could go cornerback. Very possible. in the team needs, when it comes to the Raiders, you got wide receiver, you got quarterback, offensive linebacker, cornerback, safety. I think it's still a little bit rich for us to throw him a quarterback. This is difficult pick for them, but I'd probably give them Trayvon Diggs over some of these players, because in recent mocks you're noticing AJ Epinesa has been falling. They could do Uter Gross Matos. I think that would be a solid pick here. They could go Kristen Fulton, but I'm going to go ahead and give them Matos. Okay? And so these are the players that would be available for the Detroit Lions here at 20. To me, I like AJ Epinesa. I think we still need pass rush. I think if he's available, and he very well could be available to the Detroit Lions if we had the 20th pick, we just go AJ Epinesa. And now we solidified the cornerback position. We solidified the defensive end scenario. To me, this would be a great situation for the Detroit Lions. And we solidified a lot of defense here. And to me, this would be my 6th best scenario. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and propose a trade for the 5th scenario in my case here for the Detroit Lions. And in this case, they're going to go ahead and trading with the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to go ahead and start the simulation. It's going to be 3rd rounds because we're going to pick up a 3rd round pick in this scenario. So obviously Joe Burrow goes 1, Chase Young goes 2. We're going to propose to trade as the Raiders. And the Raiders obviously trade with the Detroit Lions. And as the Raiders, we're going to go ahead and send the Detroit Lions a future 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, the 19th pick, and the 12th pick for Detroit Lions, 3rd overall pick. So again, we get a second round pick in the 2021 draft. We get the 3rd round pick, the 80th pick, 12 and 19 for the Detroit Lions. So we're going to propose the trade. The trade was accepted, and we're going to go for the Raiders. Obviously, they're going for Tua, so we're going to go ahead and select Tua in this spot. Who is available for the Detroit Lions at the 12th pick? And to me, this is actually a logistics scenario that could take place. I know a lot of people would say get Mekhi Becton, Andrew Thomas. I don't think Andrew Thomas is going to be there. I'm not going to pick him because I don't believe he's going to be there. Is it possible? Yeah. But I'm thinking realistically, and to me, realistically, Javon Kinlaw would be available. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Javon Kinlaw and solidify the defensive line. The reason I didn't pick the other guys, I just don't think they're going to be there, folks. I don't think that Thomas will be there, and I don't believe Mekhi Becton will be available at the 12th pick. If they were logistically available there, realistically available there, you would have to consider taking them. I just don't believe that's a realistic possibility, okay? So here the Detroit Lions are back on the clock with the 19th pick. AJ Epinesa is available, and Cleveon Chason's available. To me, this is almost a near no-brainer. I'm actually going to take Cleveon Chason, the outside linebacker from LSU. We solidified the defensive line. Now we have a solidified linebacking core. Tavai, Chason, Jared Davis. I mean, you got a pretty good linebacking core, a young linebacking core. We picked up the linebacker from the Patriots here. This would be one sick linebacking core. They also can rush the passer, so we're going to go ahead and take Chason right there. That would be a fairly good situation for the Detroit Lions. As this takes out, again, our defense immediately got better. We still got holes at a cornerback position. We still got holes with the offensive line. We still got holes at the running back position. Could we take Jonathan Taylor? We could. Could we take Jeff Gladney? Possibly. But in this scenario, guess who's available, guys? Cesar Ruiz. To me, this is a no-brainer. You're taking the center. He can play guard, guys. He's just like what we had with Glasgow, but better. Because Glasgow could play guard. He could play center. We take Cesar Ruiz here, no doubt about it. But if he's not available, if he's already picked, I'm still looking for the offensive line here. So I'm just going to go, we'll just do all offense here. So in this scenario, I'm still looking for offensive linemen. So you could go ahead and see who would be available. Cushenberry, I think, would be actually a real possibility for the Detroit Lions if Cesar Ruiz is gone. You can look at other tackles, but in this case, we're going to pick up Cesar Ruiz and solidify our offensive line. So we're just giving you scenarios of what could take place if the Detroit Lions make these trades. And to me, that would be a very possible chance. And so we're going to let this thing play out. We're going to jump into the third round because, again, we picked up another third-round pick. So we have 3 third-round picks for the Detroit Lions. In all honesty, guys, I'm looking to trade up in this draft, but I'm just going to take the picks that we got because I want to show realistic possibilities for the first round. In the first round, we're picking up extra picks. So we go ahead, we picked up we got a defensive tackle, we got an offensive lineman, we got a linebacker. You can go many different routes here. There's no, guys, Neville Gallimore fell to us. There's 0% chance he's fallen to us. I'm not picking him because he's not going to fall to us. It's not going to happen. So in the third round, I want to see what they got in offense. I am looking for a running back at some point. We did miss out on one. But again, guys, if we have 3 first-round picks, I'm actually going to jump into the second round, in all honesty, and take a running back. So in here, I'll just take this guy for our player, taking running back, because I feel we're actually going to jump into, if we picked the way we picked, we're actually going to jump into the second round. There's no way we actually stay here. But we're just going with the flow here and getting what we got. We can do many different routes. You could actually go tackle here. It's very possible. Because we still need help on the offensive line. We do need help at the cornerback position. We'll just throw him Arnett because we do need help in the corner position. And I don't know. We'll just go ahead and give them a defensive tackle because I'm not worried about what the Vegas Raiders are doing. I'm here. I want to see what the Lions are going to do. And if if Wilson fell to us, no brainer, we take Wilson, take the tackle position. So we solidified a lot of positions. So let's go ahead and look at what we received for the Detroit Lions. We're just going to let this play out and see what we received by end of this draft. And go with what we got here, guys. And see if we traded back with the Raiders, what our draft would look like in a scenario. So in this scenario, we get Javon Kinlaw, Clavion Chason, Cesar Ruiz, Zach Moss, and I think that would be the picks we get because the 2 of the other picks would simply be our personal picks. So if we trade it back, this is kind of what it would look like. Kinlaw, Chason, Ruiz, and a running back, and another second-round pick. So that would be a 6 scenario for the Detroit Lions. If that was to occur. So we're going to start a new simulation here. I think the Detroit Lions could make another trade here, and it would be trading with the Los Angeles Chargers. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and pick the Detroit Lions. We're going to pick the Chargers, and we're going to start the simulation. We're going to do 2 rounds because I think we're going to pick up a second-round pick in this proposed trade. So we're going to go ahead and pick the Chargers, trading with the Lions. Select the scenario here, and we want to get the Detroit Lions third pick because we need to get a quarterback. So if I am the Chargers, I'm going to send them the Detroit Lions, their 6th pick, their 37th pick, and the Chargers' first-round pick next year for the Detroit Lions' third-round pick. And the reason I did this is because if the Chargers want to get the quarterback of their future, they're going to have to pony up a little bit. And to me, this would be the 4th best scenario. Proposed the trade. The trade was accepted. And the Detroit Lions just move in a couple spaces back. And we're going to get a very quality player there. We're going to get a blue chipper there. We pick up a 7th round pick, and we pick up a 1st round pick next year. To me, that is one hell of a draft scenario. And in this scenario, if Derek Brown fell to us, extremely possible we take Derek Brown. And so that's what I'm going to do in this scenario. I'm going to take Derek Brown there. He solidifies the defensive line. We picked up another 2nd round pick and a next year's 1st round pick. That is a great scenario for the Detroit Lions. That would make me happy because, look, Derek Brown to me is a one hell of a defensive tackle. He's going to get after it for sure. And it makes the Detroit Lions look much, much better on the defensive line in this scenario. And I'm happy. So the Detroit Lions are back on the clock. To me, there's no way that Kristian Fulton falls to the Detroit Lions at the 35th pick here. But in this scenario, he does. But I'm still looking for an offensive lineman here, guys. I'm still looking for a cornerback for sure. If Fulton fell to us, I would take him in this scenario for sure. But let's just look at other positions just to see realistic possibilities. I think J.K. Dobbins will be a realistic possibility at that spot if they wanted to go that route. Patrick Queen would be a fantastic pick as well. It would be hard-pressed not to take Patrick Queen right there. Guys, I think it's a real... Julian Okwara, if they wanted to go that route. Again, Lloyd Christianberry, Zach Bond. I mean, you're seeing really good players here. I don't see how they're going to fall to that round, but you're noticing, guys, players are falling that teams want in this scenario. Players are falling out, and that's why the 2nd round picks are so important because you can still get great players. So here, if Kristian Fulton's there, I'm going to go ahead and take Kristian Fulton. And guess what, guys? The Detroit Lions are right back on the clock because we picked up that extra 2nd rounder. So in here, we got the defensive tackle. We got the cornerback. I would consider taking J.K. Dobbins because I don't think he's going to be available later in the round. And I think it would really help us to solidify that position. But in here, I need help on the offensive line. I think the offensive line is the most important part. I think Christianberry as well can play tackle. He can play center and guard. And that's what I'm looking for him on. And I probably would be looking to take the lineman, more importantly, over the running back. So in this scenario, I'm going to take the lineman. And again, we have 2 3rd-round picks, guys. If I want to get the running back, if I feel I can get J.K. Dobbins or someone else, I'm going to simply jump back into the 2nd round from the 3rd-round pick. But in this scenario, I'm simply taking the players that I get from the trade back scenario. And so I'm not going to jump back into that round for that reason. And so in this scenario, guys, with the trade back, we receive Derek Brown and a Kristian Fulton or a Christianberry and next year's 1st round pick. To me, that would be the best case scenario for the Detroit Lions. So we're going to start the simulation again. And for my next scenario, it's a trade with the Chargers as well. So we're going to go ahead for my number 3 scenario, pick up the Chargers, the Chargers. That's not the Chargers. The Chargers right there, and the Detroit Lions. We're going to start the scenario here. We're going to actually pick up a 3rd round pick. And to me, the reason why I'm going to pick up a 3rd round pick and instead of taking next year's 1st round pick is I just think that they need help now, and they're probably going to want to get more picks. So we're going to propose a trade here, and we'll be the Chargers and trade with our beloved Detroit Lions. And we're going to pick up 3 picks here, the 71, 37, 6, next year's 2nd for Detroit Lions 3rd. And that will be the trade I'm going to go ahead and go with, and it was accepted. And obviously, again, the Chargers are going to take Tua Tagovailoa, and the Detroit Lions are going to have a good chance here with Jeffrey Okudah. And as you've seen, the last one I did Derek Brown. Here, I'm taking Jeffrey Okudah, and I would be happy with this pick, whether it be Derek Brown or Jeffrey Okudah. I still have Derek Brown above the Jeffrey Okudah, but here I'm going to go ahead and take Jeffrey Okudah. Select Jeffrey Okudah in this scenario and let the draft go as it will. So we got 2 picks added to this draft, and so this is my 4th case scenario for the Detroit Lions. The 3rd case scenario is very similar to this one, and you'll see that next. So when you see that I took Jeffrey Okudah over Derek Brown, it will change in the next scenario. So here, the Detroit Lions are back in the clock. We took Jeffrey Okudah. We solidified the secondary. We picked up another 2nd-round pick. You see that is very close here. And so in this scenario, we need help on a lot of... if we need help on the offensive line, this is already known. We need help in the secondary, possibly safety. I don't see it because we made the trade. We need help with the defensive tackle position. Is it possible? Is it possible that Gallimore is taken already? It is very possible he's taken, but in here, Gallimore would be available, so I take Gallimore, and I would be happy with that. And we're back in the clock again. So in this scenario, if we got the cornerback, we got the defensive tackle, we need help on the offense and the offensive line, and I'm taking Cushenberry. I'm happy with this pick. He can play center, he can play guard, just like we had with Glasgow, but he is better. We can jump back into the 2nd round and get the running back we want in J.K. Dobbins, okay? This is very possible, guys, that we can jump back in there. Is he going to be available in the 3rd round? To me, there's no way he's going to be available. He'll be taken in the 2nd round. We actually jump back into the 2nd round in my plausible scenario here. But here, I'm just picking up the picks that I received, and that's it. I'm not going past that. So here, we still got the ability to help on many fronts of the line. It's possible we go tackle, guys. We got guard, but we do need help at tackle. We do need help at a little bit of positions of the defense. If Winfield was here, I would be jumping to pick him, but I don't believe he's going to be here, so that's the reason why I'm not going to pick him. You got to think logical here, and it's possible he's not going to be there for sure. So, tackle, we could go tackle. We could go defensive end. I think that's very plausible. We already picked up our defensive tackle, but there's many different routes we can go here, guys. There's definitely many routes. But if Winfield was there, I'm going to have to take him. I'm going to have to, because to me, he would never be available at that spot. We're back on the clock here, and there's no way Mubarak would be available. I think he's going to be higher. He's higher rated. Tackle, we could go 64 with the tackle there. I don't know. I think if we hadn't picked up a running back now, I think we would be looking to take maybe Zach Moss here. I think he would be a logical pick for the Detroit Lions, or another running back trade-up scenario. So we're just looking at what we could get. Not necessarily that these will be the picks, but what it would look like if we got these picks here. We're going to need help too. I think it would be a good idea to look at the offensive line, the tackle position. We do need help on defense still. You could go outside linebacker. You can go cornerback still. We do need help at depth. There's many different routes you can go. There's many different routes. I'm not taking the tight end, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a route I don't see happening. But, man, you can go here. I would just pick up the defensive end, just the best one available. Solidify the defense for sure. Again, this is not telling you what players are going to take, but this kind of gives you an idea of what it would look like for our Detroit Lions. And I think that's important to just talk about kind of what it would look like and what would take place. So here, the draft is over, and so in this scenario, you picked up Okudah, Neville Gallimore, Cushenberry, the safety Winfield, Zach Moss, and Zuniga. Instead of having just 3 picks in the first 3 rounds, we got 6 in next year's second-round picks. So to me, that would be one hell of a scenario. So again, guys, we're doing the number 2 scenario for the Detroit Lions. And this is trading again with the Miami Dolphins. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and do, this is 2 rounds we're going to go ahead and do. And my proposed trade is picking up 2 second-round picks. So I'm going to go ahead and propose a trade with the Lions and Dolphins. Pick the trade, and I want help with the second-round pick. So when we look at what they got, we got they want the 3rd pick, so we're going to give them, the Lions, their 56th pick, the 39th pick, and the 5th pick for Detroit Lions' 3rd pick. And the reason why I only went second-round picks is I just feel the Lions, you're going to see the talent that's available. So not necessarily picking up the players. So when you see like, oh, there's this player available, I'm not really focused on that in this scenario. This scenario, I'm just showing you who could be available. So look who could be available in here. Isaiah Simmons, Jeffrey Okudah, Derek Brown. That's very possible. That is extremely possible that 3 players are here available. Okay, guys? So think about that when we're picking up these 2 second-round picks. So now we got 3 second-round picks. Look who's available. It doesn't... In this scenario, I'm just taking Okudah. But you could definitely take Isaiah Simmons. I have him rated higher. You could take Derek Brown. I have him rated in over Okudah. It doesn't matter. I'm just taking Okudah. Don't look at the picks necessarily. Just look at the value. And look who could have been available at number 5. So by moving back 2 spots, you have a good chance that those guys are available. And in reality, Simmons probably gets taken by the Giants. Okay, it's possible. I'm just picking a pick just to make it move forward for the Detroit Lions here. So I'm not even necessarily looking at who they're picking, but I just want to show you what's available. So these are the picks why I think the second-round picks are so useful for our Detroit Lions. Why I think they're so grand. So here, we're back in the clock. We took Okudah. Again, if Simmons available, you can take him. You can take Derek Brown. Doesn't really matter here in this scenario. Here, we got the cornerback. So I'm looking to get a defensive tackle here if there's one available. Is Neville Gallimore going to be available? Probably not. So the reason he's available on here is just what they got rated, but he's probably not available. But I'm still looking for help at the defensive tackle position. For sure. Blacklock, he could be available there. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go all. But I'm looking at to solidify the lines here. So if it's not defensive tackle, maybe I go offensive tackle. So we'll look at offense, see who's available. Again, it's not necessarily the player necessarily. I'm just simply looking at what they could get. So again, don't necessarily kill me on the this is not my mock draft. This is just saying who's available and what position is you could go. So in here, I'm going to just pick Neville Gallimore. Ain't no way he's actually going to be there in the second round. But look, we're back on the clock again. And we're going to go all. J.K. Dobbins, if he's there, I probably would pick J.K. Dobbins actually. But again, don't necessarily judge on the pick, just showing you what's available for sure. If we pick up extra second round picks, and this is the legit truth. So we're going to be filling a lot of spots here. And guess what? The Lions are back on the clock here. So we got tackle, we got running back, we got cornerback. So we'll get offensive tackle here. And this is what could happen if the Lions pick with getting extra second round picks. This is the value you're going to get. So you're going to be picking up, you're still going to get your blue chip player, okay? And you're going to pick up two quality players for the Detroit Lions, and that's why I got my rated number 2 scenario. But here is my number 1 scenario. It's again trading with the Miami Dolphins and realistic scenario for the Detroit Lions. My realistic scenario, and now I'm not saying getting 2 first-round picks. I don't think that's realistic, but my realistic scenario here is, again, the trade with the Detroit Lions. And to me, we will get the 5th pick, the 26th pick, and the 39th pick. To me, that's a realistic scenario, okay? And this is why I have it to be realistic. And again, we're sitting pretty because we're going to get a blue chip player with that 5th pick. They're going to be available. Guess what? Jeffrey Okudah is available. If that's who they're targeting, they're going to get him at the 5th pick. If Derek Brown's targeting, that's who they're going to get with the 5th pick. One of these guys is going to be available. In this case, I'm going to just take Derek Brown in this scenario. Just because, again, the Lions could go Okudah, they could go Derek Brown. If Simmons available, one of these guys is going to be available, and that's why I love this trading back with the Miami Dolphins situation. You're going to get a guy you're going to target anyway, so why the hell not? Why would you not target? But in this scenario, guess what, guys? You're going to get another first-round pick. Cleveon Chase, in my opinion, would probably not be available at this spot, but we got the defensive tackle here, so we can go defensive end, we can go running back for sure if they want to go DeAndre Swift or Jonathan Taylor. We can go cornerback for sure. They could do that. You got Gladney available. You can go Cesar Ruiz. Honestly, man, I'd take Cesar Ruiz. I would love to get him. I don't think he'd be available in the 2nd round. I think if we had the 26th pick, he would be a logistics or a realistic spot to take there. And then guess what, guys? We got our 2nd round pick, our 2nd round pick. You could take Jeff Gladney here if he's available. It's possible. Okay, so guess what, guys? And we can take J.K. Dobbins. So, and I think this is a possible scenario. These are actually a possible scenario of the picks who could be there for the Detroit Lions. And now you get to see what the draft could realistically look like for the Detroit Lions if we trade it back from 3 to 5. And it is a very good draft, in my opinion, if this scenario plays out. It's very possible, guys. This is very, very possible. So, as you look at my scenarios 10 through 1, possible scenarios, this would be my favorite because you could take a Derek Brown or a Okudah, mix it up. So, if we went Derek Brown, guess what? You go center on the next pick with Cesar Ruiz, who can play guard. And then you kick out Big V. You're getting a very good cornerback at the 35th pick there, Jeff Gladney. So we solidified the defense and we solidified the offense by getting J.K. Dobbins and Cesar Ruiz. Now we can run the football, we can get after the quarterback and stop the run and play well in the secondary. And to me, getting 2 players for the price of 1, no doubt about it, this would be my best case scenario. Okay, guys, with that said, folks, tell me what you think. Not about the players, but the picks that we get. And it would just kind of show you what we would get. If you like it, let me know, man. Tell me your scenarios. What would be your favorite scenarios? That said, folks, adios.